We had a chance to sit down with faculty and students to discuss what the rule of law and access to justice means to them and how this will shape their work as the future justice actors of tomorrow.
The IDLO inspired me to begin the world's first course, a master's degree in global development and international law, in 2008. And I looked at what you did based on what I saw on the internet, and it gave me the idea to develop modules which linked in directly to global development and international law. So it's a marriage of the scientific with the folkloric. And that is what the IDLO has really, done in the context of my imagination as to how I could get the students to look at theoretically what they need to do practically when they leave the university.
And in your opinion, why is IDLO's work important for development?
Simple word, animation of the law, the black letter law. Students spend a lot of time in the classroom basically studying about the theory of law, but they need to understand what happens on the ground. And the only way that they can do that would be through field trips. And if they cannot actually go to the site, they can at least come and listen to the professionals or the program coordinators who function on site. And this is what we are experiencing, well, yesterday and today. It was a fantastic session yesterday where we were able to have both online international learning with the video links, Read Africa and also the UN. And then, of course, those people who are here and they're actually involved in the reconstruction or preparations of the training programs that take place on site. So I think the IDLO has, is crucial to what is happening internationally. Your role in actually creating a platform for such a discussion to take place is critical, and I think my students are really excited by that.
Well, the rule of law ultimately means fairness in the eyes of the law. It creates a structure in which no one is above the law, including governments or individuals. And what the IDLO did, and certainly demonstrated in the wonderful presentation that they've given to our students, is how they work with the rule of law and also work with the local customs of each particular country. They specifically work on allowing justice to be made available to everyone, and also trying to create a system or a platform to allow sustainability in that aspect. So for the students, they certainly see the hard work that goes into that, the challenges and so forth that those program coordinators and the IDLO face, and the patience. So they get to understand how the rule of law is important and how the IDLO are consistently working to achieve that for individuals in those countries.
And what do you think your students will take away from this visit that might help them in their future studies or careers?
I think what they'll take away with this is a different view. They'll understand and take away how it's applied. It's all good and well looking at the rule of law from an academic perspective, but it's very different when you're seeing how you actually have to implement that on the ground. And it's very good to look in a book and say, yes, it's all about fairness, it's all about justice, it's all about achieving things like that. But the reality is, it's a lot harder when you're trying to do it, and the time it takes to try and bring that concept in a format that all of those countries understand in their own context.
So can you tell us a little bit about what you learned about access to justice and rule of law, and how that might help you in your future studies or careers wherever you might go?
Yeah, the rule of law, as it entails, has three aspects to it, which is first the equality before the law, the due process of law, and providing justice for all. So one thing I really got from my experience here at the IDLO, it's the access to justice for all. And one aspect is the issue of providing good quality legal services to the less privileged in the society. So from my own background, I will take this back home and start producing good quality legal services by rendering pro bono services to people that don't have the financial means to pay for the services. So I'm totally in to render such services to the downtrodden in the society.
It's nice the amount of work that you guys are doing in developing countries, especially. I really like the work in Afghanistan, especially what one of the person that we spoke to yesterday was doing, and then how she's helping women, especially. And that's one thing I was really intrigued about.
What does the rule of law mean to you, and why did you see it as important for your students to learn about IDLO's work?
Students are international students, so they come from basically the member states that you have identified. Rule of law has to be seen in context. There's rule of law within the village where the elders play a major role, and they actually orchestrate, whether it's through the religious societies or the religious infrastructure, that the village men and women must function in a certain way. And I think you understand that within Sharia law and so on and so forth. That's a rule of law. That's common law from the folk law point of view. Then you have rule of law from the legislative point of view. And that is what is impacting more than anything else on the rule of law from the common man and woman's point of view. So we want to understand the balance between the two. And this is where we feel IDLO is creating a trajectory towards creating that balance and understanding it. I think the balance needs to be maintained. And we need an organization like the IDLO to create a platform where people can come together and in an atmosphere of harmony and basically curiosity, explore what each folklore presents, and we get a balance, we get a consensus. And it's out of that you get a bit of the community and the political, was, I like to say, integrating the scientific with the folkloric. And that is what the rule of law means. It means that you have a balanced understanding of what the common man and woman believes, value-wise, and what the politicians need to do from their perspective. And that creates an agenda that we can then transport to other communities and even transport it intergenerationally.